Hello and welcome to Unikron's Gaming. Today I'm going to be talking about Pang, more specifically the original version that was in the arcade over here. Anyway, before we get into that, let's do the usual brief history. Okay, courtesy of Wikipedia, it says Pang, originally released in Japan as Pomping World and known in North America as Buster Bros. Really? Okay. Is a 1989 action game. Action, I would have thought it would have been puzzle, but there you go. Co-op, produced by Mitchell Corporation and Capcom for arcades in 1989. Mitchell handled the game's domestic and most worldwide distribution, while Capcom handled the bulk of development and distributed the game in North American territories. Right, the basic gameplay is identical to the 1983 Japanese MSX computer game called Cannonball, also released in 1983 on the ZX Spectrum as Bubble Buster. Cannonball was made by Japanese publishers Hudson Soft, and it was licensed by Mitchell Corporation 6 years later to make Pang. Okay, interesting. In the game, players must finish around the world quest to destroy bouncing balloons that are terrorizing several of the Earth's landmarks and cities. The fight to save Earth begins on Mount Fuji, Japan, where the players must pass all three stages before moving on to the next location. So yeah, being terrorized by balloons. Okay, that's the I don't know why I'm laughing. Just terror balloons, perfect shaped balls. Anyway, that's the brief history done. Presentation. Okay, for presentation, I'm looking at my my notes here, and we can talk about the graphics for this game, where the balloons are terrorizing the world because if they pop, their pop is dangerous. I thought, what? The balloons are terrorizing the world? Who made? Look, you got a good game. You just didn't need the story. There doesn't need to be a story for it. These are terror balloons. The balloons of different color. Wait, so the green ones more terrorizing than the red ones? What about the blue ones, the sky blue? What do they do? Are they like blue M&Ms or something? Are they like the what? Anyway, stop it. The graphics are fine for the game. The static backgrounds, I think it's a good idea to have static backgrounds so you just concentrate on the moving things, which are the balloons of terror. Okay. Yeah, so that I've lost myself. Okay, compose. Look at my notes. Yeah, the 2-player mode. I would have liked the colors for each character to be. Don't they look very Dragon Ball Z-ish? Yeah. I wonder if it's the same artist that designed them. I think he died a couple of years ago now, which is a shame. Yeah, I would have liked the colors for each character to be a bit darker, because sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. If you take your eye off the balloon. Okay, terrible pun, dad jokes. Yeah, what else? The static backgrounds, they're just, they're alright, they're fine. They do what they need to do, and it's part of the charm of the game. What I really like is the animation for the characters, the chibi Dragon Ball looking characters. Not Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball. Yeah, they really look really nice. I really like the design of the characters. Yeah, I'm sure, I need to check, because I'm sure the characters, they look very Dragon Quest, Dragon Ball. It's got that design to it. It's got to be the same guy, surely. It'd be way too much of a coincidence. Anyway, yeah, I really like the characters. I feel they had a nice bit of charm, a little bit chibi charm to it. The game's just got a good overall vibe and charm to it. That's what I like. And even in the arcades at the time, it stood out. I remember playing this in the arcades at the time. I was terrible, but I still had fun. What else? Oh yes, the game is very clean. It's got a nice, clean look about it, and I feel that also adds to the charm, and everything stands out. What's supposed to stand out does. The balloons, the ladders, your weapons, the characters, the backgrounds. Even though some watching may fixate on them, when you're playing, you don't notice them. They just do what they need to do. So yeah, the game's got a whole nice charm about it. It's very, very late 80s, early 90s. Audio, 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 audio. Okay, for audio, well, first things first, there's no speech. There's little sounds for when you get hit and stuff like that, but there's no speech in this game, or not that I came across anyway. Or when you get hit, it doesn't go like "ow" or say something. It's got pops for the balloons, obviously. It's got a little ding-a-ling-ling for when you shoot out your weapons. The sounds are once again charming. It suits the whole vibe of the game. The background music, it's probably the only weak thing, really. I don't know if if when the time's running down, if the music changes, if it speeds up. You know, like Sonic, when you're about to drown, the sound changes and, you know, it's like hurries you. I don't know if this does that. Myself and Chowster, because Chowster helped me with this, with playing 2-player mode here. I'm the pinkish one, the one that's mostly dying all the time. Chowster's, you know, he's carrying me basically. So yeah, I don't know if that happens, but the music's probably the low point. It doesn't stand out like, say, I don't know, what's the big one, Tetris or Puzzle Bobble. I don't really remember the tunes, but I do remember the popping and the sound of the harpoon. So if I heard those two things, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's Pang. But if you played me one of the background music, I wouldn't know what game it is. So yeah, it's just certain sound effects I will remember about this game that make it classic to me. So yeah, but the actual theme tunes for the stages themselves, no. And because I'm rubbish at the game, I only remember a few of the stages anyway, because I couldn't get very far, because Unikronn is terrible at Pang. Even though in this day and age it may annoy people, because you know everyone's got something to complain about nowadays. You can't just get on with your life. I really do like the sounds of the weapons. That bell chime, I think it's really cool. At this time, most weapons didn't sound cute or anything like that, but this just sounds really nice and it's like a doorbell. It's inviting. No weapons sounded like that back then. Everything was just like, weapons sounded like some sort of, well, you know, destruction. And normal weapon sounds like guns and cannons, but this just didn't. So I really like the fact that the weapons in this game sound, you know, cutesy, like a little doorbell. Yeah, nice. I like that. Okay, let's have a quick look at my notes here. For fun factor, the stuff I've got here, I've got, I like the physics, the gravity of the balls falling. It makes the game, for me, challenging, but fair and nice. You understand what's going on. I like the fact you can freeze time. You can get double weapons, almost machine gun like stuff. You can pause time. Have I said you can get shields? Shields are cool. The 2-player mode is excellent in this game. Yeah, obviously I played this with Chowster. He really loves this game. It's just, yeah, this is his game. So he's the one playing now single player. In 2-player, I was the reddish pink one. But yeah, he's mostly playing this for me because I wouldn't have been able to get decent footage because I am terrible. I like the scoring system. I like the timer. The fact it's got a timer and the timer seems quite fair. There's no slowdown, which is really cool as well. And you know what? It has that one more go factor. It's a good puzzle game. That one more go. When you get, it's the type of game you can get good and you can be on it for ages. Just get a run. Just one credit, one CC. This is that type of game. And I love those type of arcade games. It's just not ridiculously cheap. It's just skill based. And I love that. What else I like about Fun Factor? Let me look at my notes here. Yes. It's easy to understand. It's not rocket science. It's just that, okay, I understand. And then it's get better at the game. And that's your skill. So I really do like that as well. I've already spoken about the weapon and shields. You know what? It's it's a low barrier to entry of this game. I think this is what all games, just video games in general, should be about. Yes, you understand what's going on, but then once you do, it's like your little cousin could play this back in the day. Your little sibling, your older sibling, your parents, they could all play this. It doesn't take much to understand, but it takes a lot to master. And I feel it is up there with Tetris. It doesn't have the prestige of Tetris, but to me, it's up there with Tetris and Puzzle Bobble. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those games that's, oh, I get it. Oh, and oh, one more go. Oh, my favorite weapon's this. Oh, I've got that weapon. Okay, I need to get the shield here. And you can time where you want. You think, right, I'm going to let that balloon be over there, and I'm going to destroy this. Still to take out this block, take out those balloons there. You know, you can strategize and practice, and then you know how to beat that level. And you just do it all the time. And then you think, if I can get a faster time than this, let me try this. And then 2-player mode. This game is fun in 2-player. Like I said, myself and Chowster played it obviously next to each other rather than the online nonsense, how it's supposed to be played. So yeah, it's just fun factor. You can't go wrong with Pang. You just can't. And then it came to the home pause. Yes. Bonus round. Okay, I just want to read this little blurb here. It says conversions for Pang, they were all titled Pang. They were released across Europe by Ocean Software in 1990 for the ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, Amstrad CPC and CPC 464, the Commodore Amiga and the Atari ST. Okay, I needed to put that in there because of what I'm about to say next. Right, in my secondary school at that time, we'd played Pang in the arcade. Most people had the 8-bit microcomputers or 16-bit. Were the 16-bit still microcomputers? Or were they the 16-bit computers? I'm going to say 16-bit microcomputers. If I'm incorrect, someone can correct me. But yeah, they were popular. Even if you didn't have one, you knew a friend that did. You go around to their house and play it. And the ports were good. I don't think at the time we thought any of the ports were rubbish. Especially the Amiga port was fantastic. It was like, mwah, chef's kiss. This game was popular as hell. And it helped that it had a great port. Pang was the thing that was spoken about, and it was one of those games that was in the wars. You say what wars? There was 2 wars going on at my school before the consoles. Because there was no Master System versus NES in my school. There was none of that. There was Commodore 64 versus the Sinclair Spectrum, ZX Spectrum, and obviously the Commodore Amiga versus the Atari ST. I'm sorry, Amstrad, you just wasn't part of the war. You couldn't hang in there. Yeah, and there was no VIC-20s and the BBCs. No one really owned them. So we're talking Commodore 64 versus Spectrum, Atari ST versus Commodore Amiga. This game was one of the wars, and it's about who could get the best scores. And people go around to each other's houses and play this. This game was huge in my... It wasn't my world, but at that time, I don't know, what I would have been like early teens, like 13 or something like that. Or, yeah, 13. So therefore, or 12/13, this was a big thing. This was one of the first wars of the video game wars for my world, for my school. And that's all I knew at the time, my little area. And Amiga version, I personally feel was king because I knew the arcade was popular. I played the Commodore 64 version, and I spoke about Chowster, and lo and behold, a part of London that he grew up in, he said it was big as well. And he raved about this game. He's been raving about this game to me for years. And I thought to myself, why don't we just play it? I want to see the Amiga version as well. So we met up, and that's why he helped me with the footage. And he showed me the Amiga version, and I was shocked at how good this port was. I'd heard about it. I think I'd seen it in the magazines. I know this game scored highly in CVG and some other magazines at the time. But my God, the port is spectacular. Yes, certain sounds are off, just a little bit. It's missing a few things, but this is probably one of the best ports I've seen on the Amiga. Even the speed looks roughly the same. I don't think you get a better port So I didn't own an Amiga, so I don't know. But if someone wants to say no, there was a port of X game and it is very close to the arcade, more closer to the arcade than Pang is, go ahead and tell me. The other thing we didn't get a chance to do was play 2-player with the Amiga version. We had a few difficulties and we didn't have time because we had to go out elsewhere afterwards. But I was thoroughly impressed with the Amiga version of Pang. Also, not only does it play well, this, I believe, most of this footage, I think it's Chowster playing again, but it responds well. There's no lag or anything like that. The controls are perfect. It's just a really, really good port, an excellent port. And you know what? It's not a rant, but I'm going to say, at this time, I think it's changed now with some of the VR versions of Tetris and stuff like that. But I think most puzzle games should have static backgrounds. I don't think you need flashy stuff in the background. I think it takes away from your concentration. I mean, a chessboard is just checkered, isn't it? Even with chess on PC and consoles and stuff like that and mobile phones, you don't have things flying around in the background anymore. It's just chess. That's how people want to play it. And I think puzzle games, some of the best puzzle games still just have static background where you're concentrating on your score. I mean, Pac-Man, the best Pac-Man that people play still don't have too much going on in the background. They still prefer the classic Pac-Man. And Tetris, all the new funky Tetrises and all sorts of crazy stuff going on in the background. I think, I don't know, perhaps it's just old man ranting, but I prefer these old school puzzle games with static background and I'm just trying to get that score. So yeah, I mean, Space Invaders is a bit different now because I played one, was it Space Invaders Extreme? If you've ever played that, yeah, that's got crazy stuff going in the background and some people don't like that. But yeah, anyway, to me this is a great port. What do you guys think? Have you played it? What do you think about it? And on to the next Pang. So this is Pang Adventures, done by .emu and Pasta Games, and that's who developed it, and .emu produced it as well and put it out there. So yeah, this is my version. This is me playing now. I think this is the latest version of Pang, I believe. So yeah, it still has the static backgrounds, the music for all the stages. The music's still not really that memorable to me. It's got a few things. Okay, it's got updates now, so it obviously looks a bit better. It depends on if you think this looks better or you prefer the classic. You know, people are different, but for me, I don't mind either way. I think I prefer the classic look of the other Pang, to be honest. But this is still fine. It's still got upgrades, power-ups. The timer is a bit more vicious. The balls have a bit more animation and bounce to them, which is nice. They still got their physics and gravity, which is nice as well. It's just a very well playing game. I could play either or, to be honest. It's even got bosses in there now. Yeah, the difficulty does ramp up, but I think it's because I'm terrible at Pang, so I didn't get past the second world. Each world has like, I don't know, 10 or something stages. I can't remember. Something crazy like that, but I couldn't get past the second one. I think there's only 3 worlds in the game, in the story mode. But yeah, it was very enjoyable. It's still Pang at heart. And this is the Pang that I have and I play. I think this came out in 2016 or 2017. I think I bought it in 2018. Yeah, and I think this is on everything anyway. Current modern systems. So yeah, this is me. This is my look back at Pang and my history. So I hope you're having a good one. Hope you all are well. I'll see you in my next video. Peace out, people, and take care.